But first, how our brains impact our success and happiness. Here's my conversation with executive coach Laura Berger, who's had columns in Forbes, Psychology Today, The Huffington Post, and more. Laura, welcome back to our show. Good to see you again.
Very nice to see you. How are you?
I'm good. This is so interesting because we're going to talk about positive mental outlook and how that helps you feel better about your job. But we're going to take it to another level and introduce biology, which is so cool. So if you can, sort of in a nutshell, explain how feeling better about your job or wanting to make a change can actually impact your brain and how that can help you get there.
Yes, absolutely. So I think the first and foremost is your brain is not your mind. Okay, your brain is an organ. Your mind are your thoughts and feelings. And the reason why that's so important here is because what that means is you can control your thinking and your feeling, which then actually physically impacts the brain, and you can actually change your brain and how you move throughout uncertainty and feeling anxiety or whatever you're experiencing in that work environment.
So, for example, let's say somebody knows they want to leave their job. And let's be honest, some of our viewers probably feel that way. It's a different feeling to go, I hate this job, I want to leave, as opposed to, I know what I want to go do, right? Like negative versus positive. How does that affect the brain?
Right. So when you are trying to move away from something, so I hate this, I want to get away, what happens is that increases the cortisol levels, which is in the amygdala part of your brain, the limbic part of your brain. And so you go into that fight-flight arena, and your stress levels are very heightened. So it doesn't even allow the networks to connect to the prefrontal cortex, which is where this more connectivity and innovation and creative processing takes place. So what you're trying to do is, instead of being in the mode of moving away from, let's move towards what you're moving to so that you can increase your oxytocin levels, which in the science field, that's called the connector hormone, the feel-good hormone.
Okay, we all want to exercise the feel-good hormone.
Right.
So when you consult with executives and CEOs and business leaders, employees, anyone in the business field, and they say to you, Laura, I gotta get out, is the advice, don't get out until you know what you're going to? Like, in other words, if I don't know where I want to go, I just want to go.
Right.
That's not the way to do it.
Right. So what the work that we would do is try to focus out on a vision of what it looks like. So I don't know if you're familiar with mind mapping. So let's say that you know you're really good at connecting with people. Well, what does connecting mean? Like, and how do I get paid to be a great connector, right? So mind mapping, it's starting with that word connection and then building out that map so you can see what that means for you. You're probably excellent at connecting, but connecting for you is connecting in a different way. So it's building that mind map.
And then I would also imagine this is applicable in terms of motivation from a leadership standpoint, right? If you have a bunch of employees that aren't working as well as they should, perhaps it's because of the way you're talking to them or incentivizing them or lack thereof.
Absolutely. So a good example of that, an employee walks by your office and says, Dave, I really need to see you at 3 o'clock. The tone of the voice
has ruined my day.
Ruined your day, right? Yeah, and that's increasing your their cortisol levels of like, oh my God, what's going on, right? So there's a different way and a different tone of voice, even through emotional intelligence, that you can actually change your thoughts and feelings and change the thoughts and feelings of others and how they're interacting with you.
Well, now that we've blown everyone's brain and mind, we've blown it all, how can people reach out to you?
The best way to reach out to me is through LinkedIn. You can just type Laura Berger, Berdeo Group, LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect with you.
All right, well, it's always good to see you.
Good,
Welcome back, and we'll see you again next time.
Absolutely.
All right, you got it.
It was great.